Welcome back to the Sure Sales Group Show, episode 62, and today I'm with Charleene Doverspike, one of the original gentrifiers of Canton and a pioneer in the building and design space here in Baltimore. Here on the show, we talk about real estate, sales, negotiation, marketing, entrepreneurship, buying, selling, renting, investing, and what it's taken us to grow from 2 employees to 20, from 30 million in sales to 130 million in sales in the last few years. Thanks for watching. Charleene, thanks so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
I've been admiring your work for the last 6 years as I've been in the business. And what I always like to ask our guests out of the gate is, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so we can get to know who Charleene and Charlene's Houses LLC is.
So I've been doing houses for a long time now. I really even hate to tell people how long, but let's just say a long time. I came to Baltimore in 1995. I've been doing houses primarily on Capitol Hill, row homes again, since the late 80s, and also some homes in Northern Virginia. But I came to Baltimore because it was such a good deal. And Baltimore is still really a great deal, like when you compare homes up here to DC or Northern Virginia or any other area close to the great jobs that are available, within this whole metro complex that we live in. So I came to Baltimore in 1995 and started doing houses in Canton. I drove back and forth to DC for a couple of years because that's where most of my work was. And then after the first 2 years, I was able to actually start buying a few homes here. And we bought 1 or 2 at a time during the late 90s, right. And just developed a reputation. And then we started doing jobs for customers as we went into the 2000s.
So Charlene's so humble. I'm gonna have to pull this out of her, but she really is like a living legend of Canton. One of the first to come through and really bring in what we see now all the time, which is super modern, cool, hip Baltimore City row homes. A lot of the builders who've been doing it for a long time, I'll say Charleene was the pioneer there. You came in, you changed blocks. Like these blocks that were around now in Canton that are all beautiful, they weren't.
No.
And you came in and started gobbling them up.
In 97, you really didn't live past East Avenue. And so the way East Avenue is in O'Donnell and East. You really didn't go past East Avenue.
Going east or west?
Going towards 95.
Okay, that's right where I live now, so you didn't go there.
So you didn't go past that. And so what I did is I would buy a home and I would fix it up and I would live in it. Because if I was living there, then it was easier for me to get another person to buy another home. So we did, 8 or 9 houses on Highland Avenue. And then we did 8 or 9 houses on Hudson Street because both of those streets were just really drug havens. One of the houses I bought in particular that I'll remember forever in 1998 was at the corner of Highland Avenue and Harmony Court. Yep. And when I settled, we brought out 20 mattresses. So it was basically a place where people would go in, they'd lay on their mattress, they'd shoot up their heroin or whatever you shoot up, and hang out there until their high was over, I guess. We tried getting the police involved. We did everything. We videotaped people, and it just didn't make a difference. So the only way we really were able to change those streets in Canton were to just, put in one nice home after another and get good folks on those blocks.
The fact that you're still here, you made it. Like, that's a dangerous job. Like, sometimes I don't even want to go in some of these basements if there's stuff down there. I'm like, But so you've seen what Baltimore had to offer in the late 90s. How have you seen it change now? And, there's a lot of, just talking about the crime and stuff, like I've always felt safe here, but that's a hot topic. As someone who's been around for a couple decades, you've seen highs and lows.
Well, so in the 90s, you didn't think about going out at night. That was really the difference.
You just didn't.
Now you're so comfortable, and yet you hear stories, people get mugged and such, and it's not fun that we have to contend with that. But you did not consider going out by yourself. In, I think it was 2000, we started the Canton Home and Garden Tour, and we put like 3 or 4 of the houses I'd done, several houses Dave Carey had done, and then just some other folks that we knew. Christine Corbett, who's a well-known real estate agent, her home, we put all of those on just to try and bring more folks into Canton and make them aware of what we were doing. So we would meet here at the Can Company. We would walk back together, and I remember us talking about that was just, you didn't really walk around by yourself at night.
Yeah, well, that's still a good practice, by the way. Like, I have sisters down here, good friends. I'm like, hey, if you're going to go out at night, go with a group of people, which you probably want to do anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, for instance, in '98, we had a home ready on Highland Avenue. And Highland Avenue has big, wide, beautiful homes.
Yes, it does.
And we put an addition on the back, and it had a 2-car garage. And we got an offer on it right away. It was a couple moving from Federal Hill, and they called the police to get a crime report, okay, in 1998.
Oh, no.
The police said, oh, there's just no way I would live there. That's a terrible neighborhood. So, you know, I eventually found the buyer myself, and they became lifelong friends of mine. We're still friends on
What did the house
on
sell
Facebook.
for?
I'm thinking right at, let me think, 212, maybe right around low twos, I'm thinking.
For instance, a big wide house on Highland Avenue with a garage right now would probably sell for $700.
Right.
Especially if it had your taste. Let's go back to this design for a minute.
Okay.
Because here's why everyone just kind of respects your work, not only because you were one of the first to do it and you've been doing it for a long time, but what I've seen is I can walk into a house and say, Charlene did that one. Mm-hmm. And everyone says that.
Right.
I learned about you from other people saying that. Like, oh, this must be a Charleene Doverspike renovation.
Right.
So and I've heard it so much. My partner Joe Cicchetti's like, "Oh, you didn't know about Charleene Doverspike? Oh, her stuff's the best." So you have a good reputation. You know that. I don't need to stroke you too much there. But talk to us a little bit about how you do things differently. You're not like a track builder, basic drywall. Like your stuff always has exposed wood and unique colors and light fixtures.
Well, so one of the differences between me and other builders is from the get-go is I lived in row homes.
Right.
I lived in row homes in Capitol Hill, and I lived in row homes for 7 years in Canton, including, you know, I made a double wide on Hudson to try and turn that neighborhood as fast as I could, and I lived there. So one of the things that's difficult in a row home is light. And that's one of the things I've always focused on. And I think what gives my homes away faster than anything else is my use of light. We've done that in several ways. One is adding skylights into our bathrooms, and then adding transoms into our bathrooms and bedrooms.
Yes.
So when you walk upstairs, it's like you're hit with a burst of light instead of walking into a dungeon. And when you walk into our homes, you don't feel like you're walking through a train, which is what I felt many of the homes exhibited, and I was trying to get away from. So I would say that was one of the main things. And then from that, you know, we just really tried to add features that you would see that people were interested in.
Right.
Whether it was adding barnwood to houses, you know, 10 years ago before.
Yeah, you did it before everyone on HGTV did it.
You know, bringing in brass, you know, everybody thought I was crazy at first. The hardest part of trying to be unique and bring in things is actually finding them.
Right.
I mean, 8 years ago, when we really started doing brass heavily, it was really, really hard. Not that it's easy yet, but it was really hard to find brass light fixtures, you know, that looked beautiful. So a lot of it is just trying to bring a unique look to the homes and make them not feel like a train or a boxcar or something like that. You know, make them feel like they live like they really are, you know, a beautiful three-dimensional home with light coming in from all areas.
So what you've been doing a lot more now is you're not super aggressive in buying shells and doing full-blown renovations.
Right.
People come to you and say, Charlene, please come do my house, do my kitchen, do my bath. What do I do with the light, paint colors? I know I've been asking you about a million questions about that. But before we jump to that, Brandon, when you put this together, can you show those transoms at 3202 O'Donnell, which is a home that Dave Carey actually had built that you came in and redesigned for a client. That home is so incredible. It sold quickly in a semi-slow market because we put it right in the listing. Google that, 3202 O'Donnell Street. The pictures are incredible. Everyone's like, oh, Charleene Doverspike design, barnwood, transoms over everything, and just the unique detail, even like the types of doors that you use, like these 2-panel solid doors, not some cookie cutter, flimsy, punch a hole through a hardwood door. Right. Just everything. But going back to what you do now, where's your clients coming from? What are I kind of wrote down, what are your frequently asked questions? Because I know you're kind of like an market expert, thought leader in design, construction, how things flow. What do you get all the time?
So as far as where our customers come from, 4 years ago we moved out to Phoenix, and so I just felt like it didn't make sense for me to concentrate in the city anymore, just because it is a long drive.
Yeah.
So most of our customers now are up and down 83. We still do work in the city.
Yeah.
Because you can get there from 83. We do a lot of work in Towson, a lot of work in Timonium, a lot of work in Cockeysville and
Yeah.
Phoenix. But that's kind of where it concentrates,
Right.
is up and down Charles Street corridor.
Yeah.
If you can get there from 83, I can renovate the house. But most of our customers right now focus on kitchens, bathrooms, and basements. In fact, I think we have 3 or 4 basements we have to go look at in the next month.
Wow.
It seems to go in phases a little bit, but over the past year we've done, 30 kitchens, 40 kitchens.
Wow.
And most of our customers actually determine as soon as they buy their home, or as soon as their home's under contract, that they want to renovate their kitchen, because they want it to be. They have young children. They're just like Andrew. They have young children, and the parents want to be able to see their kids while they're preparing meals.
Yeah.
And it's really tough in most of the homes that were built. And most of the homes in that Towson, Timonium, Cockeysville area were built, a few in the 50s, but mostly 60s and 70s. A couple even in the 80s. But they still are divided up and broken up pretty significantly. So folks want to open up their home and make it to where it flows really well for young children.
Right.
So I call it the first floor kitchen. You aren't really renovating just your kitchen, but
Right.
you're renovating your entire first floor. You want it to feel cohesive and pulled together. You want it to be lovely when people do come to visit and you're entertaining, but you want it to be really functional
Right.
every day when your kids get home from school, or when your little ones are sitting on the floor and playing. You want to be able to fix a meal and not have to yell at them every 5 minutes. What are y'all doing? You want to be able to see them. So a majority of the jobs we get called on are something similar to that. Also, with bathrooms, just they're older bathrooms.
Right.
Lots of times we'll try and pull some additional space because they're small. And
Yeah.
we'll try and pull
Yeah.
some additional space from a closet or maybe from another small bedroom. I can think of one in Lutherville that we did about this time last year, and they'd bought the house and they hadn't moved into it yet, and we basically took the existing bedroom and then another small bedroom and turned that into a master suite. There's a 5-bedroom upstairs, so it's a 4-bedroom now. But you walk in, it's a really nice sized bedroom, as well as a nice bathroom, not huge. I mean, most people aren't going for huge bathrooms anymore. Most people want a double vanity, toilet, and then a really nice shower. And a nice shower right now is just a nice shower head and then a handheld shower head.
I want frameless glass.
Okay? Most everybody does frameless glass.
I don't like it, and this is just me personally, but
Yeah.
like what I find when I'm hearing you talk about these things, you're a problem solver.
Yeah.
And you've been renovating rectangle row homes. If you can squeeze a lot of functionality into that, when you get into these single family homes, it's like boom, 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 boom. And furthermore, like you can probably tell from listening to Charleene is you're like the real deal contractor builder. We're talking about moving structural walls, getting micro lambs in there, checking out how much plumbing and HVAC we have to move to make sure that this bathroom can get bigger or smaller or whatever. So I think it's a really unique combination you have taste. And that's why I was reaching out to you. I'm like looking at your stuff, I'm like, I want this in my house. I want my kitchen to look like that. I want help picking fixtures and hardware and paint colors. So you have that in spades. I guess that's just part of who you are, but you know how to get shit done. It's kind of like if you're an interior designer, you're not moving walls.
Right.
And if you're a contractor, you actually kind of suck at designing finishes.
Right.
You've married them beautifully, and you should check out Charlene's Houses LLC. She's on House, she's on Pinterest. When I've been annoying her saying, Charlene, will you come and help me do this and that? And I don't even own this house yet, not even moving yet. She goes, well, have your wife send me the Pinterest board. Let's see what you like, which is a dangerous thing to do, because people like expensive stuff. You're like, oh, why don't you? Yeah, this is quartz. Why don't you go with Formica on your budget? Sometimes you have to tell people that.
Yeah, no, sometimes. I mean, what we try and encourage people to do, because most people want a look that's more expensive than what they can really afford. So what we try and do is help people figure out what they need to buy now.
Right.
So light fixtures is an easy thing to replace later on.
Right.
It really is. And you probably don't need all of the things you think you need. But
Right.
you do need beautiful floors that are coordinated with your paint color. You do need good cabinets to start out with. You probably want to figure out where you really want your appliances, and then do you really need that double oven now? Those are things you don't want to rethink.
Right.
And quartz is the leader right now. Most people really do want quartz. It's not outrageous, but I mean, a quartz top in a freestanding home is going to be at least $4,000.
Yeah. Man-made. Don't
Yeah,
have to
and
mess with
they
it.
go up to about 10. I mean, we just finished a kitchen for a customer that we actually met in Canton in 2012. And they bought a beautiful home at Owings Mills, and when they were ready to renovate it, they called us back. So that really made me feel good that
Well,
they
everyone-
kept our number that long.
Anyone who's worked with Charlene, and I know a handful of them, you have hundreds of clients now, they all go, oh, you have to use her, because I'll bring it up. I'm like, hey, so you work with Charlene, how was it? Dude, we would have never picked this stuff, look at our house. It's awesome.
Right.
Like, I love that brass stuff that you do, but the little things, the devil's in the details, and if you're in any profession, and you're not looking at it every day and studying the trends and seeing how it actually works and how it comes together, this is invaluable insight. So I want to leave it with this. If you're looking to sell your home and you want someone to come in and make it way better and maybe put in 40 to sell it for another 100, or if you just want to upgrade your space and have someone take a look, Charlene's easy to get a hold of. She's online. Charlene's Houses LLC. Check it out on House, on Pinterest. And if there's anything else you want to just kind of leave as we wrap up.
If you are going to do a first floor kitchen, the most important thing to do is to find out if there are utilities in your walls. I've just invested into what I call an interior x-ray machine. So we can scan the walls now and see if you have radiator pipes or plumbing pipes or ductwork going through your walls. 'Cause that's a big deal. It's an expensive thing that you get advised of after you renovate. So whomever you're using, make sure they really check out any walls that are coming down and that you aren't going to get another $4,000 bill after the walls come down.
You know what? That should have been the oh, by the way, so I'm going to make you give them another tip. Charlene, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Until next time. Charlene, before you go, we've done it 62 times. You need to look at the camera and give us one more oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way, do yourself a favor when you renovate your home. Not only do everything on paper first, ideally you hire a designer like us or someone else, and you know everything's going to happen, but buy all of your fixtures before you start if you want your job to finish on time. There's just nothing worse than the faucet you had your eyes set on for 6 months totally goes out of stock. Or even yet, better, your vanity's not available. So do yourself a favor, order everything, put it in your garage, put it in your basement, but have it in your home before you even start demo day one. That's it.
Buy it first.